And welcome back to the Hot Lap. I hope you jolly well had a lovely Christmas. I am big and round, bowl full of jelly is my belly. But let's get into our F1 headlines. Yes, we are looking back today at 2023, at least F1 personalities looking back at 2023. And Norris being 2023 his best year to date. Let's hope 2024 is going to be better for Lando. Toto Wolf on Mercedes' best race. And it's one where Hamilton wasn't even classified. Yep, that may give the game away. I'll leave you guessing for a bit there. And also, Verstappen wins Race Fans' best driver of the year. Shock of the year. Shock of 2023. Headlines, front page news. Verstappen is the best. But let's get into that Lando Norris. This is from motorsport.com. Norris has basically been saying that 2023 has been his best year. Can't argue with him, can we? So this is from Alex Keller. I can never get his name right. This is from Alex. So this is McLaren Lando Norris. He reckons that the last season now we're talking about it, but 2023 season was his best in Formula One, and this included improvement for tyre management, and this was especially when you compared him to rookie Oscar Piastri. So Piastri was potentially, towards the end of the year, very much Norris's equal when it came to qualifying in a lot of places. Just think of like Japan, Qatar, the sprint race. However, Piastri's big weakness was Lando Norris's big strength was that tyre management. And he said, he's basically said, included tyre management improvement he made following work, looking back to his driving all the way back to the days of 2019. So that was the year Norris made his debut with McLaren, which he has remained with, signing essentially 2 contract extensions, both in 21 and 2022. Now, the Papaya team, it says, as we know, had a really, really tough year. It car looked like a joke, didn't it, come Bahrain? But to be fair, people, the heads of the team, Zach Brown, were essentially saying, yes, we are in a bad place. James Key ended up leaving, and what a turnaround. One of the biggest turnarounds ever. I think the only other turnaround that a lot of people are saying, like Autosport mentioned in their podcast, was the 2009 turnaround, funny enough, by McLaren. So when asked to rate his own 2023 season in an exclusive interview, Norris said, I think it's been my best year. He said, I think it's been our best year as a team. I guess a lot of it's just for the obvious reasons, the success that we've been able to have from the start that we've had. After the start that we've had, sorry. He said, I think there's been a lot of great performances, both in terms of just racing through and having some good ones. Mexico, for example, where Norris went from 17th to 5th. However, the big blurt was potentially could have got a lot higher there had he not messed up him and McLaren, but Norris not messed up that qualifying. So he had, though, as he says himself, eye-catching overtakes around a slow, after that slow getaway being the highlight of all of that. So there we go. Andrea Stella, sorry. What is wrong with me today? It's not even New Year yet. Recently told motorsport.com that 2023 Norris, he's got the ability to understand how to drive the car, where we are with the tyres, and that's really going to be really, really important, I think, going into next year. What these changes of conditions mean and how they should adapt to his driving style to help McLaren stick closer to Verstappen in races. If you remember Brazil, he even had a go at Verstappen. Now, on hearing these words, Norris explained he nevertheless feels I still have to adapt every weekend to work towards the best race performance in the critical element of tyre management on those fragile Pirelli tyres. He said, I'm still not super comfortable every weekend, thinking the car is going to do this weekend and it does that. Half the time it doesn't, he added. So then I'm sort of like, okay, now I need to drive a bit more like this. Now, Formula One, he says, is often always shortly judged. You're only as good as your last race, a lot of people say. Now, if one driver has 2 good weekends in a row, they're like, oh, he's back. But then the next weekend it's gone and it's quite the opposite. Yep, F1 and the media are pretty fickle at times, the way they report on drivers. But, you are one of 20 privileged yet very talented people. So it's just how it is. But Norris says, so I think I've always had some good races every now and then. But when I look at it as a season, on an out of all these races a lot more consistently, I was delivering on the Sunday. No matter what conditions, no matter if it was hot or cold, or if the car was really quick or struggled a bit more, or if the setup was where I wanted it to be, where it wasn't, if I started at the front or the back, he says I could always kind of make the most of whatever situation I was in. And absolutely, Norris, you could make the most of every situation. You were, I think for us, one of our top 3 drivers of the year, I feel. Absolutely amazing. The only thing, and I don't think I'm the only one that's saying this about young Lando, the only thing that's missing from Lando Norris is that killer instinct. Yes, Verstappen easily passed him in Silverstone. I can't help but feel just maybe a tiny bit more, but then maybe Norris is thinking, my tyres, I'm racing for second place. And he got second place, to be fair, in Silverstone, didn't he? But I think we just need that 1% more, kind of like, that 1% more, that aggression that I think Leclerc has been lacking as well, back in 2022 as well, that willingness to go for it. And then I think he is going to be a very dangerous man if that McLaren package is good come next year. Very dangerous. However, talking about danger, Toto Wolf. Yes, the Terminator. So, this is from WTF1.com, and it's Wolf. He's basically choosing his best F1 race, and it says the answer may surprise you. Okay, I gave you a clue at the beginning of the race, but it says while there are slim pickings for Toto Wolf to choose from when he was asked which race he felt Mercedes was their best of the year, it says you'd have thought anything else would have been a better choice than this, right? So, but Wolf may be onto something, and he said, drumroll, the United States Grand Prix. No, not the one at Miami or Las Vegas, the one at COTA, the one in Texas, the circuit of the Americas, an actual Grand Prix circuit, the one in Austin. Yeah, that was the one, wasn't that one Lewis was disqualified from. So Hamilton, as we know, he finished a strong second, catching Max. Had there been a few more laps, potentially, he may have even beaten him. Despite the team pondering strategy for a little too long, which brought him out behind Lando Norris at the start of that final stint, but Lewis was on a charge and eventually within striking distance of that all-encompassing Max Verstappen in that Red Bull, and with a few more laps, as we just said, he may have done it. But post-race checks, as we know, found the plank underneath Hamilton's car had worn just a bit too thin, and as a result, he, along with Charles Leclerc, were disqualified. Same reason for Charles as well. Now, despite losing this podium, though, Toto Wolff said it still represented the team's best race of the year. Now, in the Mercedes season review, he answered the question thusly. He said, "This might sound strange because we got disqualified, excuse the lack of Austrian accent, but Austin was the best race." He said, "We bought an upgrade package that worked. The car's performing well. We were hunting down the leader. You could say, well, you were disqualified for a car that was too low. But the genuine performance was there," he says, "and that was an enjoyable weekend. I've always said that I'd rather have a fast car that we haven't tuned in the right way. And obviously, you need to finish. But that was the best weekend overall. Seeing the correlation between the wind tunnel and the track was good. Interesting way of looking at it." It's WTF1 conclusion. I think that's true as well. But it did show that their changes mattered. But the only thing is, after Austin, they had a solid Mexico, a really kind of meh Brazil, and a very average Abu Dhabi, although George Russell did star there. I think Hamilton, I don't know if he was waving the white flag, so to speak, but he looked very average. He didn't look the Lewis of old, did he? So last but not least, race fans, yes, breaking news. Surprise, surprise, they vote their viewers, readers. But anyway, they voted Max Verstappen as driver of the year, but interestingly, a third year in a row. 2022, absolutely. And obviously, that would have been 21, but let's have a look at that. So, Max Verstappen has been voted driver of the year by race fans. The Red Bull driver, it says, who won the World Championship for the third year running, was the choice of more than half of their readers. Now, Verstappen, he smashed records, as we know, as he extended his reign of now 3 titles, winning 19 Grand Prix in a single season and scoring more than twice as many points as his closest rival, sadly for him, Sergio Perez, and 10 consecutive races. So, race fans at Driver of the Year poll since 2010, we have got 23, 22 Max Verstappen, 21 Max Verstappen. I mean, you could have gone Max or Lewis. I think no one would have argued. And then 2020 to 2017, Lewis Hamilton. Interestingly, Daniel Ricciardo for 2016, Vettel for 2015, Daniel Ricciardo for 2014, Vettel 13, Alonso 12, Vettel for 11, and Lewis Hamilton 2010. So that's really interesting. And they've also got Race Fans Driver of the Weekend. And it says 2 drivers scooped the majority of awards, Verstappen and Alonso, were each voted 4 times each for Driver of the Race. Only 2 drivers did so more than once. And Lando Norris, it says, topped the pole for 3 rounds running in the middle of the season. Carlos Sainz Jr. won the pole twice with his Singapore victory, the only defeat inflicted on Red Bull all season. All our Driver Weekend polls are now closed, obviously, but registered for 2024. But there we go. So, I mean, Bahrain was Alonso, Saudi Arabia was Alonso, Australia, interestingly, was Hulkenberg, absolutely Azerbaijan, Sergio Perez smashed it, Miami, Alonso, and he surprised Alex Albon for Canada, absolutely. Then we had Norris for Austria, Silverstone, Hungary, 3 in a row, something I don't think even Verstappen did when you look at it. When you're looking at it, Yuki Tsunoda for Abu Dhabi 2023. That's not bad either. Well done, Yuki Tsunoda. Hamilton, I think did he win it just the once, I believe. Yeah, United States, but then he cheated, I guess. So is that worthy at all? But anyway, I digress. Max Verstappen, once again, Race Fans Driver of the Year. Can't really argue with him. Let's hope it's going to be a lot closer, though, for next year's vote. This has been the Hot Lap. This has been me. Thank you for making it to the end. If you have, please like, subscribe, follow the channel. Thank you so much. We're back now pretty much after the Christmas period where I ate too much. I have a tummy ache already, continuing tummy ache, because I'm a pig, unfortunately, with all that food. Shocking. I'm rambling too much now. We'll be back. Thank you very much. Speak to you soon.